Actually, today we talk about something that I think you're the correct person to talk about.
Oh.
Because we're going to talk about the struggles between generations.
Okay.
You're listening to
Jom Sembang Malaysia.
I only say that you're the right person to talk about because you and your mom age gap quite big also lah.
True.
Compared to a normal parent-child age gap, yours and your mom's is like quite a significant amount. So I think you probably know more struggles between generations than a normal person would have because of that giant gap.
Okay.
I mean, at least that's what I assume. So what I want to talk about today is actually maybe let's look at it from the us and the generation before us,
Okay.
and then us and the generation after us.
Okay.
Then we can actually really compare or
Okay, we try.
discuss about things lah. Okay,
I try not to stereotype, but yeah, okay.
I mean, it's not really stereotyping. We're just covering something that we think that every generation think that they know better lah. This is I don't know. At least I think my father generation think that they know better lah. And then I have a younger generation who think that they know better lah. And I still think I don't know anything lah.
Okay.
So I'm like, what are you talking about? Am I not mature enough for my generation to think that I know everything? Yeah.
Okay.
Let's begin from the older generation in a sense, right? So the older generation, when internet was first introduced,
Yes.
they have categorized us, or at least my generation, because I came with the Y2K. You know, I born with that Y2K bug lah, internet lah, the year 2000 lah, you know. So they are always thinking that internet is a temporary thing. It will phase off one lah. This internet thing, you think the whole world can own it? We can just use facts better than you know. When it first started out, there was that kind of thing. Like they even refused to get a modem. Somebody get a modem. Then the computer and then type the stupid thing disappear. Use my typewriter better, you know.
Okay.
You know, if I press the whole thing, then I suddenly select all and then I delete all, then I cannot.
Right. Okay, so hard copy better.
Yeah, and then it's when you go in and say, actually, mom, it's quite easy one. You can undo and all that. And then they were like, yeah lah, you all think that it's easy lah.
Yeah.
Actually, typewriter faster because I'm better. Like you're better at that.
Faster.
So you think that anything that come after you cannot be anything better than that because you already mastered what you think is the best.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so that's what I was struggling with. Actually, to make it a little bit more prominent or more obvious, is like e-wallets. When you first introduce the whole world is like, got scam lah, cannot see my money lah, you tap disappear lah. I'm not going to use this ever. And then they say the next generation have no freaking idea what they're doing. They don't understand security. They don't understand the importance of having proper physical bank, you know, instead of using some online bank you cannot see and then you press something wrong, you know.
Anybody can steal anytime.
Correct. So it's that kind of thinking from my parents' generation always lah, okay? And then to educate it was very difficult because people like me was rational. Okay, let me go and see whether can scam and whatever not, you know. And then I remember one of my friends said, very, very simple. The generation will say, so hard, blah, blah, blah. But then I always say, why you complain about the solution I give you when you didn't even bother trying to click in? You think your generation know better? Maybe we actually have a solution to help every generation to move forward. But the previous generation refused and tried to be a dinosaur by saying, I'm not logging in. Or, I can't log in. Then they complain, this website lousy one lah, you know, But actually, it's a website of solutions. They say like Gmail lah, you can get your Google Drive, Google Form, Google. It's a wow solution, right? To every problem that they have. But they are stuck at, I don't know how to log in. My password missing again.
Yeah, very hard to see the fonts and everything.
And then they complain. So the new generation like, but so you say your generation better, but your generation cannot click in to use this super solution.
Yeah.
Which is like, Then when I was looking at this story, I'm asking myself, the new generation now, AI driven. Am I going to be like this, my parents' generation? AI useless one. Like, am I in denial or what? So what are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts are some things you have to try and then you know. So for example, when the e-wallet thing first started, I wouldn't call myself a laggard. Neither was I what's the early adopter lah. I'm kind of like, okay, you know, more of it is being done already. Let's try. I try a small amount first lah, you know. Whatever it is. I can't remember what was the first one that I put money into. That was my e-wallet.
PayPal?
Oh my gosh. Actually, yeah, PayPal a long time ago already.
PayPal
Yeah.
was like the first time PayPal exists, there's no e-wallet. That was our idea of
That
probably
was-
closest to e-wallet.
Okay.
And then when you have to, like, your customer from overseas say, I pay you through PayPal, and you're like, oh my God, the money is not going to come to my bank. It's going to be stuck somewhere. I can't even withdraw it. I need to wait to $1,000 before I can write a check to myself.
Okay, fair enough. I actually have this problem still because I'm like, what do I do with the money there? But
By the way, PayPal can now withdraw to Malaysia Bank, huh?
I know. For a fee lah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm sure.
it's still. Yeah, okay, one-time fee lah.
Yeah, one-time fee. So just make sure you get 1 million before you transfer. Just kidding.
But at the same time, you do see people seeing how it's good. Okay, so my mom, for example, right? She's got this story that she loves to tell the whole world because my dad and her were involved in translating.
Okay.
So the thing that they were translating to a lot of revisions one. So every time there's another revision, right? Typewriter, type the whole thing again. Either that or there's the cyclo-styling machine. How to say? Cyclo-styling. Yeah, something like that lah. You know, where you cut hole into the stencil thing, right? It's like, yeah, it's totally old technology which worked like at the time. And then you can repair, you can use this correcting fluid. But you can't replace 2 words with a sentence, for example. You can't fit a sentence inside. So you have to manually, or otherwise you just type the whole blooming page again lah, right? So when she first heard about word processing, right, she was like, wow, this would have like saved light years, in what they were doing, because you just save it, change the thing, save the file, and it's done, right? Even she can see the benefit of technology lah. At the same time, you're seeing people, like you said, right, cannot see the benefit in having a Google form. They're still like, oh,
let's print out a form.
Let's print out the form, fill it out. And do you know how many problems that could because in the transferring and extra work, and then I don't know, they don't see that lah. Somehow they just don't see that lah. But in terms of boomers lah, I think what I learned recently, boomers can be very, very confident.
Yes, they are.
Extremely confident. Maybe because they spend a lot of time doing similar things.
Okay.
So after you've done it 1,000 times, you better know what you're doing lah.
Yeah, they are like master of their crafts lah.
And they talk like they know what they're doing. The problem is, if what they were doing was not right, they're also stuck in it that they cannot see that it wasn't right.
Yeah, I think one thing is not right. Second thing is they don't realize that there are methods that has speed up or improved their methods, the new methods. So they always tell the next generation, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But maybe the next generation has already seen that, okay, this is what you're trying to achieve. We could achieve it half the time or half the cost. And then the boomer they get upset.
Or you see the pitfalls in the system and created a system to fit it. But to them, it's like integrity is not there. Or stuff like
they
that,
are a bit
right?
jealous of like, how come
I
you
don't
can
know
do
about
it,
jealous
but you cannot
lah.
do it?
Maybe the mind not
You think
open.
you can do it?
So my struggle was always this, right? Because of the respect that you have for the legends lah, the legends, the pioneers, they set that out. And the way they say, in our time, right, everything was like, perfectly functioning, like everything is properly, we'll have it, everything in triplicate in the files and everything, like so systematic. And sometimes, I also cannot find my file for whatever. I cannot find.
Digital file organization is just
my hard
as
disk also corrupted, or I cannot find. But they have everything in triplicate and everything is in the file somewhere. But then, as I'm doing my work, I discover things that they didn't do or they did wrongly that I am paying for to do. I have to fix today.
Correct.
And then I realize, we all human lah. We all the same lah. You think your generation so good? In your day, it was the heyday, and now it's like everything is crumbling.
Maybe you have a good catalogue, but it's all fading away.
Yeah, no, but then I can see that this was done wrongly, that was done wrongly, and I have to do so much more work to fix that. Then I realize,
because maybe during their generation time, it's not wrong. But as the next generation come, the world is more complex. So their current catalogue or whatever, it's no longer sufficient to be used the same system for the current world because the current world is more complex. Last time you do gender, male, female. Now you need to put one day. Then you need to be open to that change because the next generation might not be just day, might be 101 other things,
No, I mean simple things like certificate. keep
Yeah.
the certificate so well. You either frame it up or you laminate it.
Correct.
And then now I'm like, sorry, this document tak boleh pakai because it's already masuk, don't know what, it's in the frame, sudah makan apa, termite
It's
apa.
laminated and it
Oh, it's
cannot be
laminated.
used.
It's like, and I'm like, oh, so actually it's not that they know
yeah.
everything lah.
It's not that they are wrong. I mean, in their way, their generation, right? The best way to keep something from disappearing because they have digital copy is to laminate.
Correct.
But when we move on 20 years later, we got digital copy, then that laminate is cara salah. That's why I always say that.
It has been affected already.
Yeah,
It has
during
been
their
spoiled.
generation, it might be right. But they forget that as they grow 10 years older, their same method does not apply anymore.
Okay, so then that comes to your question, whether we are becoming like that lah.
Yeah, we can talk about that after the break because I
Okay.
have a story to tell you.
Okay. This episode is brought to you by Joy Luck Penang. By now you already know it's a pet-friendly place, but what I really like about it is it's surrounded by greens and you've got different places where you can hang out in this house and got instruments you can jam with.
Clearly, we only take sponsors that we endorse. So having said that, right, I always felt that I'm stuck in the between generation.
Okay.
Because of my age, I'm at the age where I have younger peers and I have older peers and I'm stuck. I'm not at the top or at the bottom. Okay. So one of the things that have existed is people can create visuals now very easy. I can create a poster on my phone, use the draw, whatever. And the biggest problem I always find when I encounter interns or graphic designers that are juniors, they can all design for digital. They are born in the digital world.
Yeah.
The moment the client said, I want to print the flyer, everything go haywire.
All the problems appear.
Because they do not understand it. And what they do is, it's the client problem lah, not my problem. I said, no, it's your problem as a designer, it's your problem. She said, no, what? If I send to print, they're all cut wrongly or missing something, it's not my fault.
So it's the printer's problem.
It's the printer problem. So every generation, I'm not saying that my generation is perfect. I'm just saying every generation is trying to protect themselves from something.
Okay.
Okay, so in my graphic designer part, I always very bad one. I will let them send the wrong file into print.
Okay.
But I will tell a printer, you print 10 copies, you don't print 1,000 first.
Right.
Make the mistake and send back. So that I can still afford to pay for this mistake and teach these people lah.
Okay.
Then they said, why? Before they get angry with the printer, I said, before you get scolded because you try to scold someone, let's do a research why. So I will run them through, okay, when you do printing, you must bleed out. Bleed out basically means if you're doing A4, right, then you must do your artwork slightly bigger than A4, 5mm bigger. So that when people cut the paper, 1,000 paper cut from the top, right, you will run at 1mm, then your paper will not have white borders.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, printing process like this one, Then I said, yeah, that's why you have marks. Then she said, I got what? I went to the free software. You asked me to put crop mark, I just press lor. Then I said, but this software was developed by people like you who don't understand what the marks are for.
Right.
So when they automatically put it on, it's not accurate.
Yeah.
You didn't do artwork bigger. So when you click on the crop mark, they just put then your artwork become 5mm smaller because that's the application said you need a mark. I give you a mark, So you do not understand the function of the mark in the first place, the bleeding mark, the crop mark. And then you say, I follow your instruction, I press the application, but the application was created by people like you who's already a bit wrong. Then when you send for print, all wrong lah.
But hey, come to think of it, let's say you're printing manual name tags and you just put exactly the size and then you go and use the paper cutter to cut.
Even if, that one is a nice one, right? You say you put on your Microsoft Word or whatever, you say the same size, whatever, right? And you print, right?
Yeah.
And then the office people still call and scold you. You tell me, you give me the correct size, I print, but it's still 3mm smaller. And then you have to teach them. When you press print, must print borderless print.
That
100% fit. Because your printer already make 97% within border.
Yeah.
So all the things shrink by 3%. Then when you cut, then you tell me, Miss 3mm, my fault or your fault?
Okay, no, but even then, let's say the print was correct. Print was correct to specification, but I'm cutting manual Even then, that 1mm, if you don't allow for a bleed mark, I'm going to have white
space next to it.
space, right? So I don't even have...
Unless you cut one by one, right?
Still
if you're cutting
salah.
if you're cutting 3, you know that it's second every one. The last third one will be like, it's the way the knife works, right?
Correct. But if you cut one by one, you still can salah. So,
Correct.
I mean, if you think about that, the bleed makes a lot of sense in a big machine.
Correct.
Yeah.
So a lot of the younger designer, I told them, I can respect your design, you do whatever funky thing you want, you think you know the best, whatever, digital-wise, yes, go ahead. You can do any mission or whatever.
Yeah.
But there are certain things that you do have to consult the generation before you. Why? We spend decades on it.
Yeah. And you've had to pay the mistake
person who understand printing, like your mother said one layer, has transferred that information to the next generation and next generation. And your job is to adopt that information to suit your generation and not throw away that knowledge, because that knowledge is a century-year-old for a reason lah.
Yeah.
You know, so I always tell them, understand how printing works, then you can go. I said, how does it benefit you? Number one, if you know printing is print CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, then black on top, right? And your client want to save money, what can you do? You just print black and magenta. It's a nice tone, monochrome, whatever you call it. I said, if you can understand printing, you add value when your clients say, hey, I need affordable one.
Yeah.
Then you can give suggestion. Now you're like, sorry, no affordable one. This is my design print. So there is a balance lah.
Correct.
Because I also learned this from my previous generation.
Yeah.
If you ask me when I first started, save money, I don't know, just print lah. Full color, orange.
Yeah.
Orange is 2 color plus black 3 color. You might as well full color printing. So my mentor, or rather the generation before me, sit me down and tell me, Gina, you want to save money is black and blue, black and yellow, or black and magenta. You don't black and 2 other color mix, it's full color. That's So I always tell the next generation that I work with now, I said, I can see you all. I'm also trying to learn from you all. You're very fast. I'm like, wow, cannot. You've asked me to do some AI thing. I understand the concept. But if you do 1 hour, I do 1 day, I will still let you do. No point. I study so hard when you can do it. But let's combine that knowledge.
Because in the instant world, there's a lot of things that in the why that we miss.
Correct.
You know, so for example, I mean, as you were talking just now, I had light bulbs, right? Like even in music has been had so many generations, right? You had the classical, and then you have the jazz, and then you have pop coming up, and then you have rock and roll, and every one of them had a whole, almost a generation, right, of people who are creating, crafting. It came out of a certain mood or whatever.
And every generation contribute to the knowledge.
Yeah. So now, let's say I just want to create something like how I feel like I create. It's fine, right? But it's gonna have that lack of depth lah, because it's almost like you're starting from scratch.
Correct.
And you've not taken what you have learned from the beginning of time, right? When there's so much people have learned and you can actually glean from that lah. But so that's the problem lah with fast forward. Well, this one also, somebody was telling me about how she was preparing a set for a production.
Okay.
And then she had meeting lah with her crew. And the drama is like that. Before that, right, it's like it's a celebration. Everybody's party. And then contrast pop. The next scene, right, is like a very dark, like a contrasting set. You want to change the emotion. So how to change, right? And then she say, her junior all straight away went to AI, asked the question, and then pop, come out with the answers. Then I said, but the answer is correct or wrong? She said, the answer is not wrong. It's correct. But then if you ask them, oh, actually it's interesting. They said put blue color vibe. Okay. But why blue? And then they're like, nice lah. There's no thought that went into it, right? Why not? What if it was purple? What if it was?
Correct.
So there is no thought, there's no understanding, because you just want instant. Okay, this will change the mood. From yellow go to blue.
So like the previous generation would be like, oh, we use red color to signify this, blue color to signify this. Actually, like film making, there's a lot of skills goes into it, and not just stick a camera and shoot.
Okay.
You know, there is the whole symmetric. Let's say, for example, one of the rule is mirror.
Okay.
Left and right mirror have a meaning. Is tell you 4 coming is this meaning. 4 coming is a disaster coming. That's why you have this 1/3 screen. Or you have reflection. Why there's a door reflection? Because it's actually telling you the next scene is something.
Right.
But the new generation does not take the time to sit down here and understand. The reflection because next scene will be sad or whatever. The reflection is annoying. Let's just remove it. So then it loses all the art of subtleness, if you call it that way lah. Same with design lah. Sometimes I just like red, I just whatever. But then I always tell them, it's not what you like, you know. You're not supposed to create something that you like. You're supposed to create something that your audience can resonate with. You know, you like red, your audience don't like red. You know, like my father's generation, wow, red is trust.
Okay.
Or the logo red is good, you know.
Yeah.
When they see a purple logo, they just go, what logo is this?
Right.
It could be the exact same logo, just different color, you know. Like, purple color, can trust or not? No ong lah.
Right.
So there is a generational thing. This is what I learned in design is because if my client is boomer, I put red on the logo. Definitely my approval very fast one.
Okay.
But if I send the same logo to someone who is 40-year-old or 30-year-old, why red? So old fashioned. So it depends on your audience. I always tell them, you cannot just ask ChatGPT what color. ChatGPT don't know your audience, don't know your boomer, don't
all
know
the
yourself.
culture behind that. Correct. So even branding, right? They were talking about how, if you've noticed, milk is always blue color one.
Yeah,
You
try
go to
doing
the
a
milk
yellow
aisle. So if you want to do yellow, you can. It's not that you cannot, but you either risk people don't trust you, or you just stand out like.
Correct.
So you have to think about why I can't just simply put yellow because I like I don't want to put blue.
So I really think that every generation think that they're better than another generation. Or the generation that's coming up.
So do you think we think that way too?
I don't know. For me, I think that because I work very well with both generations, that I always think that, okay, there's never a generation that's better than another. But we just need to really grow according to the time. Must always remember that how I grow up is not how my junior grow up.
True.
You know, how I'm tackling printing might be different. So what happened is, if there might be someone who's younger than me, I think like, this printing process that they're working for 20, the century or whatever, don't need to print CMYK lah. I just one shot makes all the color pia. Who knows, they come out with a
digital,
solution, right? That does not require CMYK. I don't know. And then cannot be that the solution is moving forward. Then I say, a stupid solution. It cannot. If it's moving forward, I need to move with times, but bringing the substance that I have with me.
True. I think maybe that is one of the defining characteristics of X and Y lah. X and Y generations, because we're in between, number one. And again, I don't think this episode is supposed to be a generation.
Correct. It's supposed to just open your mind on how
it's just considering
every generation is at their optimum during that time.
Yeah. So I think for us, because we see both ways, right? And like you said, we're in between. And we see the benefits of the boomers. And then somehow it's almost like we are caught in the middle, because I do see a lot of wisdom, a lot of very, very entrepreneurial spirit coming out of the Gen Zs, and then Alpha a bit hard to say because they're so young, right?
Yeah.
So we see the best. We also see the not so good.
Sometimes you just want to tell them, you'll just integrate lah.
But I think the reason we can integrate, or we are wary of these things, is because we've gone through so much of changes in our life. You know, I mean, how many generations can say?
But also the fact that we were born in the middle of that change. From non-digital to digital.
Correct.
So for example, we have a generation that's non-digital. Now there's a generation that's super digital. They have no idea what it means to be non-digital. And we are in between because we have experienced both. The tail end of non-digital and the beginning of digital. So that allows us to be a little bit more open-minded to adapt.
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of just music, I say, from cartridge to cassette. I mean, you have to adapt, right? To I can't even remember what after that. Then there was MD, and then there was CD, and then there was MP3, and then now there's no more device. It's just the fact that we had to live through this huge transitions from the beginning of word processing
rapidly
to AI. I think that helps us to
because we are the generation that goes through the non-digital and the digital in a rapid moment.
In rapid succession.
It's not like at the end of my lifetime that I discover digital, you know. It's like really quite equal.
And in our prime time also, it's all changing. Yeah.
So we are able to adapt a little bit better than the generation that's sandwiching us. Anyway, today's topic hopefully has opened your mind to think about, to maybe just open up your mind to see where things are. It's not just about your knowledge. Your knowledge has to grow according to times. And that's where the next generation can help you actually. In trying to adjust to the times. So maybe it's time to sit down and have a good chat with your other generations.
Jom Sembang Malaysia is hosted by two Malaysians who are passionate about Malaysian stuff. Stay tuned every week for a brand new Sembang session with Juwita Suwito and Gina Yoong. Remember to click like and subscribe for a brand new episode next week.